With the Oscar winners being announced, we've of course got no choice but to review the movie that swept the awards, Parasite. So Parasite made history a couple weeks ago. I'd be lying if I said I didn't take it a bit personally that my predictions were so far off on who's going to win what awards this year. But walking out of the theater after seeing 1917, I was beyond confident that this thing was going to sweep the Oscars. And it did okay. It won a couple. I mean, visual effects and cinematography, it would have been a crime for the Academy to not give them those two. But as many big categories as there are, Best Picture is the one that everyone's gunning for, and I was so confident it was going to take it, and it just didn't match up. And I don't want to take anything away from Parasite. It's the first non-English film to win Best Picture. It made history, and Bong Joon-ho winning all three of the categories he was nominated for is a huge accomplishment, and that's amazing. Now, when I recorded the episode about 1917, I, because of the limited release at the time for Parasite, hadn't gotten a chance to see it yet. I was so blown away by the experience of watching 1917 that maybe I developed a bit of false confidence, and me not being overly fond of the Oscars or award shows in general. I would love to complain about this and go on a rant about how the Academy is out to lunch and how this was one of the worst decisions ever made. But I'm a film critic. I can't do that. So I'm going to take a second, keep an open mind, and give you the most organic, natural, unbiased, and unskewed account of Parasite that I can. There is a lot to unpack here. I honestly don't even know really where to start. I'll start by saying some movies end and I think, okay, well that was cool, and I carry on with my life. And then there's some movies that make me sit there and just think. And in this case, I watched it with some friends, and I think that conversation could have lasted another 5 hours. There's a lot going on here, but if I was to call it something, it would have to be a dark comedy, drama, thriller with a whole lot of social commentary. A lot of similarities can be drawn to Snowpiercer, Bong's movie from 2013. There's a big focus in both features on classes within society and the struggles between them. And unlike Snowpiercer, which was a dystopian future, Parasite has a much easier time resonating with the times we live in today. I can safely say that it deserves top marks for originality and creativity. I've never quite seen a movie like this before. Now, did I like it? I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that at this point. It was exceptionally well put together and had a very rich narrative, but whether I actually enjoyed the film is another question. The imagery and metaphors and symbolism at work in this movie is great. The content itself is high quality, but I still have this odd feeling of uncertainty afterwards as to whether I actually enjoyed myself. It's definitely thought-provoking. This much thought and consideration after a film is definitely indicative of some quality work. But would I give it Best Picture? Probably not. I don't know, it may not have the most timeless quality to it, but award shows are stupid anyway, I don't really care. With a budget of $13.5 million, this team was able to put together a quality film that doesn't rely on cartoonish, overly archetypal characters, one that's engaging and isn't so much focused on pointing a finger at who's to blame, but more illustrating a pretty severe problem in the world. I can't really say much more without going into spoilers, so let's throw the spoiler warning up there. If you want to fast forward past all this, there's a time code on the screen you can jump to. I jumped back and forth over the course of watching this movie as to whether I actually liked it or not. One thing I can say with certainty is I really, really liked the way the last scene ends. The parallel between rising out of poverty and climbing the stairs from the basement back into the world, with our main character describing his plans to just simply get a job, make some money, and buy the house, comes off originally as an overly simplified solution to their predicament until you realize he's daydreaming, and this isn't a happy ending, but really a journey he hasn't even been able to attempt yet. It doesn't offer a whole lot of hope or solutions to the issue, but it does a brilliant job illustrating the theme of the film, and I thought that was very effective. But here we go, here's my big problem with the movie. The old housekeeper comes by the place while the Parks are off on their camping trip and asks to be let in. This is the point where the movie makes it switch from dark comedy to a thriller drama. But it makes no sense. Why are you letting her in? The rest of your family's with you, that's gonna look weird. You don't know what she's up to. You don't know why she's here. You're in a pretty risky position even if the family doesn't come back. This is a huge turning point in the movie, and it's allowed to happen purely because the plot requires it. They let her in, she gets creepier and creepier until she goes downstairs and they leave her there for a while. Again, why? And then they go downstairs and they help her access the basement door that moves things along. Now this is engaging and had me glued to the screen, but the movie's big increase in conflict comes from this moment, and it's a moment that doesn't make sense. There's no reason for her to agree to this. They're suspicious of her, yet they give her free rein to do whatever she wants and even help her right before things get out of control. I don't know. Something about this doesn't make sense to me. If someone understands why this is exquisite writing and I'm just missing the mark, please, in the comments below, let me know, because I don't get it. Otherwise, I don't have any crazy complaints. I wouldn't give this Best Picture of the Year. This isn't a movie I'll be flocking to see a second time, although it does sort of make sense as something you might want to see more than once. But personal taste aside, this movie's definitely not a waste of your time, and something I would probably recommend people check out. As far as current releases go, this movie's being talked about more than anything else, so I'd say it's worth seeing. I don't love it like so many other critics seem to, but I can definitely appreciate it for its quality and style and delivery. Check it out, let me know what you think. I love you guys. We'll talk soon.